It's all about working strategically with the media buyers to optimize the return on investment, bringing that class, bringing that touch, hitting directly to the minds of the audience and saying that this is exactly I'm looking into. So that's where media planning comes into picture. The way how they wanted to tailor themselves and they wanted to enter into the Indian market is quite amazing. And they started targeting the moms rather than the kids. Good morning and welcome to the Session 3, Unit 2, 6th Semester BBA, Advertising and Media Management, where we are going to talk about media planning today. Now, what is media planning exactly? To know about it, we need to understand how well it is customized in terms of understanding the entire intricate network. So to create a marketing strategy that works through, we have a complete examination of what kind of message, channel, audiences that advertisement content is required. So that's where media planning plays a very, very crucial role in terms of effective communication, as it maximizes the effectiveness of the entire advertisement. So it depends on the budget allocation, how much are you going to do it, how well you're going to take it, and what kind of message are you going to convey to the team. So that's why this entire media planning is not just about understanding the advertisement, but it's about a brand building, getting that recognition, making your customer understand the value and importance of your brand. Now, moving further, when we start talking about the goal setting, media selection, budgeting, audience, target, message development and scheduling, and then the ongoing contract. So when we come back to what is media planning, it's all about goal setting, media selection, budgeting, audience targeting, message development, scheduling, and the ongoing factors of the campaign optimization and other factors. So all these things are very, very important for all of us to understand today. Why? Because when you are talking about media planning, it's all about working strategically with the media buyers to optimize the return on investment. So this is very, very important for all of us to understand how do we plan out this entire media arrangement. Now, as we go further, the objectives of media planning, the strategic alignment with the business goals, that's first very, very important. So media planning objective should strategically align with the broader business of the goals, emphasizing the long-term growth. Now, why this is important, let us please understand here carefully. Now, if I'm running an FMCG business, my advertisement has to link to that FMCG model. I should not be running a business where people start talking about my company in different wavelength. The aim of my FMCG brand is that it covers the target audience and makes them understand this factor that what is the essence, the purpose of my company, the existence of my company in the market. So that's where I'm coming in on the long-term growth altogether. Now, when you look at Hindustan Lever Limited, for an example, they have been in the market for more than 100 years now, almost. So if you look into the factors very clearly, they have been advertising the same brand, probably packed in a different way with a different graphics and with a different surroundings altogether, but they're not leaving out their long-term objective. They want to stick to that core domain of being in the FMCG market. So whether it's Surf Excel or Rin, the flash still continues on your TV screen saying that yes, I'm on the heightened pace, I'm on that focused line altogether to make myself the leader in the FMCG industry. Now, going ahead, when you look into the media planning, it aligns with the overarching business strategy, enhances the overall effectiveness. Now, that's very important. The success that starts coming into picture. Now, why? Because whenever you're talking about the success factors, whenever you're talking about the growth aspects altogether, it matters a lot, as you need to plan accordingly. Now, the efficiency enhancement and resource optimization, your tracking, allocation, all these budgets are very, very important aspect, because a well-crafted media, when you are going to talk about, is such a structured process that is going to go down in terms of understanding how well you are in terms of running the business. Now, your rigorous budget tracking and allocation helps you to understand what is the ROI that you are going to get on your media, on your advertisement. Now, let me just put you into a simple advertisement like 5-star. Cadbury's 5-star is a very, very simple yet a powerful advertisement. Now, they came up with a tagline saying that do nothing. Now, let's look into the advertisement for a while. The advertisement is all about just enjoy the chocolate and do nothing. That's the entire message that they want to send to the public. Now, when they're doing that advertisement, the return on investment is very, very effective. Why? Because they're not deviating too much out of the brand, out of the context, rather. Now, what they are trying to tell you is that have the chocolate and enjoy the day. So that's exactly where I say that the rigorous budget tracking and the efficiency enhancement come. The more and more efficiency comes into your brand when you are exactly hitting the nail on its head, which means to say that you are optimizing every single resource possible that is there, available with you in the market, in the environment, and trying to make yourself more structure, bringing that class, bringing that touch, hitting directly to the minds of the audience and saying that this is exactly I'm looking into. So that's where media planning comes into picture. Now, as we go down, the audience segmentation analysis and tailored messaging. Now, this sounds to be big, but let me be very, very simple. Kellogg's breakfast. Now, India is a country where you cannot simply sell Kellogg's like idli vada or any other factors altogether. Why? Because, whenever you talk about Kellogg's, that's not the Indian breakfast. That's not in the Indian menu card at all. But nevertheless, the entire Kellogg's has been in the market for the last 30 years. They have been trying to struggle to make this aspect very, very clear that Kellogg's is a healthy breakfast. The way how they wanted to tailor themselves and they wanted to enter into the Indian market is quite amazing. And they started targeting the moms rather than the kids. Now, it is the moms that take care of the kids and they give the call in terms of what to eat and what not to eat. So when the mom gets completely convinced about this factor that yes, Kellogg's is good for my child, Kellogg's will definitely bring in some sort of a factor into my child's brain altogether. So I definitely like to go in for that. And that's where you would start looking into me as a person where I'm able to go to that target audience, trying to exactly say what is the worth of consuming my product. So what I try to look here is that though the segmentation is an in-depth analysis, media planners definitely go into the factor where they can send in a very, very tailored message into the minds of consumer, trying to say what exactly my product stays for. And then the comprehension of the audience also becomes quite important here. Now, we start getting into continuous optimization, testing and improvement, where you start testing for the new strategies, how you can improve your product, how you can become better, bigger, and you start becoming something really a leader in the market. This is where I want to bring in a very small example. When people talk about brands, let me just put that word very, very clearly to your mind. When I'm talking about brands like Louis Vuitton, I'm talking about Gucci, I'm talking about Prada, I'm talking about Armani, or I'm going to talk about brands like Nike, Puma, Adidas, and all those things. These are brands which have their own distinct factors, distinct features altogether. But then, I just step down myself to the common man brands. When I talk about a Gillette, I talk about a Maggi, I talk about Vicks, I talk about a Lifebuoy Sunsilk shampoo, or probably even going down to that of a Parachute oil altogether. What am I trying to do is that I'm just trying to reiterate the importance of the product again and again in a common man's life. I'm not trying to create a niche product for myself. I'm not trying to create a complete different visual margin altogether. Now, even now, for example, a Britannia Marie biscuit is a very, very common factor that you can find in any of the Indian household. But then I'm not going to be the person who's going to talk about, a good baked cakes of that of Cadbury's or the high-end kind of dark fantasies of ITC. No, I don't want to become too much into the high-end category. I just want to remain common. I want to optimize myself continuously by testing the audience, making them understand the regular usage of my product and how well I can blend with them in their lifestyle. Because if I'm Britannia Marie, for an example, I want to understand the common man's feeling towards my product. I don't want to be that high-end product where one packet of biscuit sells at 1,000 rupees. No, that's not what I'm looking into. I'm just looking for a 10 rupees biscuit packet, use and throw. Automatically, the common man feels that hunger pang strikes in your mind. Yes, there is a Britannia Marie packet. Pick it up for 10 rupees. Happy about it. So that's exactly where the testing and improved ROI comes, which means to say that again and again, you go back, understand what is that you exactly want to derive out of your product. Are you a kind of person who wants people to understand this very, very clearly, that how we should do marketing, how we need to take it, how we need to focus, project ourselves, take it to the next level? All these factors come into this picture. So that's why I say that this advertising is very, very important for all of us. Now, the impact maximization, cost-effective resource allocation and everything, this is very, very important. Why? Because moment you start strategically aligning yourself with your media plans, the business goals, you will start understanding how to strike a balance between impact and cost efficiency. Now, that is more important as we start going in the advertising. Your brand is strong, you want to make it bigger, you want to make it better, but that doesn't mean that you can go ahead and burn your fingers. So you need to understand to what extent can I step out of the ring so that I get the best as far as possible. So that's exactly where this factor comes into picture. And I would definitely say that this is very, very important for all of us to understand at this juncture. So this is the most important thing as you start planning, as you start going further. How do we make it? Where do we start thinking about it? How to take it forward in terms of the growth aspects? Now, the components of media planning is target audience definition. Definitely that is there. What is that you want to send to your persons, to your people very clearly? What is that you potentially want to represent out of it? What is the message development, the content that business aims to develop to that targeted audience altogether? Now, the age-old advertisement of Axe effect when we are talking about. Now, let's not make that perfume something way beyond what it has been actually focused upon. Now, Axe went off the market for some time, or rather it's no more in the market, rather I would put it in that way. The reason was very simple. Axe was not actually trying to focus on the perfume factor or on the body deos factor. It started becoming into a fantasy product altogether. But if you look into Fog, they were able to capture the market slowly and steadily. Why? Because the message development, they crafted the key points very clearly that Fog is just a deo spray. That's it. I'm not going to, make it look like a Superman character altogether. I'm just trying to make sure that Fog is something that you're going to use it on a daily basis. It sticks on to whatever you are being expecting all about. And that's what has been going on. So it communicates effectively, telling on to this factor that what you are, how it needs to blend and how it needs to go further. Now, similarly, coming to the channel selection, what is your appropriate channel through which you will start looking into your audience? Like it might be the print, the digital platforms, the TV channels, crucial for reaching the intended audience effectively. And this is very, very important. Please focus on this. Why? Because understand that when you are going on to the targets in terms of making the people believe how you want to take it, where you want to go further, you have to understand that not every media will be very effective. Not every time it is not that only through the newspaper or every time through the YouTube it's going to work. But you need to select the channels and put it in an appropriate way so that the message is conveyed regularly to your customers. Now, the strategic timing and delivery, what time you deliver, how you deliver it, what are your budget allocation, resource management plans. So how do you go about it? How do you fix it? How do you determine your pivotal role in determining the scale and scope? all these things will matter a lot when it comes to the components of your media planning. Now, this is important. Why? Because now the timing factor, many a times people just believe that you keep on advertising day in and day out, automatically the advertising will go. The answer is no. You cannot keep on repeating the advertisement too many times that people get bored and they just switch off their television set. You need to make sure that you are advertising at the right time interval with the right kind of impact, and then the advertisement becomes even more powerful. Now, the media objective setting. So what are your key performance indicators, the optimal spending levels, what's going to be a successive rate, what is your strategic framework for the entire planning process? All these things will matter a lot when it comes to your media planning. Followed by which the types of media, the traditional media as we are looking into it. One, we start with the print, radio. Of course, we are going back to the television, the social media platforms. All these things will boost your brand, will increase your sales factor, the consumers and the other, and it established a very, very trusted channel altogether. What is that we are looking into it is that we are trying to make people understand the importance of why this matters a lot. So this is where exactly I say that the traditional media strategies are very, very important. Why? Because they help you, they guide you to make things better. Now, digital media landscape involves a lot of activities, like we start with social media, websites, email, search engine and other factors. It is due to the precise audience targeting capabilities, influential component factors altogether, the ever-evolving nature of digital platforms and the real-time adaptability. So ensuring all these factors will make it relevant and it can get on to the changing online landscape all the time. This is very, very important because you understand how the thing starts moving up. How do we build the capabilities in terms of growth, in terms of the outward factors? Social media planning, very, very important today. Why? Because with Facebook, Twitter, Instagram coming into picture, this is all the more necessary. Why? Because you are 24/7 on the net, on the watch, on radar, and there are hundreds and thousands of people who are looking at you. So maximum visibility is possible there. People will be watching you. So it is very important how you place your ad and how the media platforms react to it, sending you the maximum possibility return in terms of growth. So this is a very, very important factor to harness the potential of all the people, of all the brand altogether in terms of making it even more stronger. Now, the paid media strategies, now that's the most common thing. When you get a brand ambassadors, you start putting into a paid planning advertisement, sponsored advertisements altogether, optimal allocation of resources, everything is happening. And that's because of the overall efficiency and the effectiveness of the paid media. So definitely this is going to make a huge difference altogether. But nevertheless, this is where we are worried about. Why? Because the paid media's biggest problem is that the brand ambassador and the brand has to meet together somewhere. There needs to be a synchronization where people have to accept the brand ambassador with that media and say that this is exactly how things are happening. So if everything is good enough and the channels that you are composing are matching, then automatically the data-driven insights will make it to a next level as far as possible. Now, media brief review, where you have to go through the understanding the specifics of advertising purpose. Then you suddenly start getting into the strategic media development that is intricately designed. It matches, it takes you to the next level in terms of understanding the marketing goals, ensuring that there is a cohesive rhythm altogether in terms of doing that particular program. Followed by which the in-depth research. That's very, very important today, because until and unless you research and find out the market trends and identify what is the most effective platform through which you can engage yourself, you can rather get into that picture, or else it will be very, very difficult for us to start getting into understanding the media planning. So it's very important you spend time, research, find out what is the best thing for you, so that you would be able to get a better insight, a better platform for growth. Now, the targeted audience reach, the budget optimization is what we have been planning, because that's the benefit of this. You get a better channel, you get better people, you get better chances to be precise, and you can reach bigger geographies, and your budget is also friendly. You will be able to get a better return on investment. Followed by which the brand differentiation. Of course, you get a very, very distinctive position in the market where people come back to you and say, yes, this is very, very effective for us. And nevertheless, to forget the enhanced customer engagement. Why? Because by selecting the right media channels, tailoring the messages to resonate with the target audience, that's very, very important. The media planning facilities and the creation factors, this will put you to the next level as far as possible. So this is definitely a very, very interesting factor for all of us to let know and take the business forward. With this, I come to the end of today's session. I hope and believe that all the facts and figures that have been spoken here would be of a great benefit to you, both in terms of theory as well as in the practical walk of life. In the upcoming sessions, we would be getting into the different facets of advertising and media. But until then, stay tuned, stay blessed, and stay enlightened forever. Thank you once again for joining me today on this wonderful session.